Section 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Each person gets a black turtle and develops a city on its back, countless small islands dot the ocean, ripe for resource collection. Lu Yun discovered his resource gathering had a unique twist, a 100x critical bonus, collected one piece of wood, warehouse wood plus 100, collected one piece of stone, warehouse stone plus 100, hunted a fawn, venison plus 5,000 pounds, deer hide plus 100, while others were grinding, struggling to accumulate basic resources. Lu Yun was blazing ahead, upgrading tech and churning out advanced units. Built a level 10 labor camp, produces level 10 laborers, built a level 5 archer camp, produces level 5 archers, built a pterosaur nest, produces pterosaurs, built a shark pool, produces sharks, built an elf temple, summons beautiful elf maidens, built an angel altar, summons angels. 0.0001 Building a city on a turtle's back. Lu Yun, now 18, found himself transported to an unknown world, completely disoriented. He'd materialized out of thin air, knowing nothing and nobody. He was a stranger in a strange land, a ghost in the machine. After a miserable couple of weeks, he finally pieced together the story of this world. Turns out, everyone on this planet was obsessed with a mysterious oceanic dimension called the Black Turtle Realm. Each year, at a set time, the world would summon humans to the Black Turtle Realm. Anyone over 18 was eligible to enter. And today was the day the Black Turtle Realm opened its doors for the new year. A booming voice echoed from the depths of space, resonating across the planet. Time for the annual Mtlno star human influx into the Black Turtle Realm. All adults may enter the Black Turtle Realm, claim their exclusive Black Turtle, and embark on a grand adventure. In the Black Turtle Realm, anything is possible. Power, wealth, authority, beauty, honor, everything you desire is within reach. As the voice faded, Lu Yun felt the entire planet erupt with excitement. The young people around him were buzzing. I've been prepping for the Black Turtle Realm since I was 6. Ace student in Black Turtle Development. Today's the day. I'm gonna crush the 1-month newbie trial and become a top dog. See ya. Easy there, hotshot. Book smarts ain't everything. Practical skills matter. 80% wash out every year, even the excellent students. Don't get cocky. Never been the sharpest tool, but I'm a hands-on guy. I'm going in. No time to waste, I'm out. Just like that, the young people around him vanished, presumably heading to the Black Turtle Realm. Luckily, Lu Yun received an invitation to enter the Black Turtle Realm. To go, or not to go? That was the question. He was brand new to this world and barely knew a thing about the Black Turtle Realm. Everyone else had been studying it their whole lives, fully prepared. Even with all that, the failure rate was a brutal 80%. Failure meant losing 10 years of your life. Someone like Lu Yun, completely clueless, would almost certainly be part of that 80%. What the heck? I'm a nobody in this world, with no hope. Might as well roll the dice in the Black Turtle Realm. Maybe I can get rich, powerful, and famous. With that thought, Lu Yun made his decision and jumped in. His vision blurred, and the world shifted. He found himself surrounded by an endless ocean. Beneath his feet was a massive turtle, so colossal it defied description. It had to be at least 150 to 200 feet long, with a flat back about 100 feet square. Flat as a pancake, that's for sure. No wonder they call it a flat turtle, Lu Yun thought. Welcome to the Black Turtle Realm, newcomer. The giant turtle under your feet is your personal Black Turtle. Treat it well. It's the foundation of your future Black Turtle City. Its growth depends on you. You are now entering a 1-month novice trial. You may not leave the Black Turtle Realm during this period. Failure to pass the trial will result in elimination from the Black Turtle Realm and a 10-year life force penalty. Lu Yun scanned the horizon and saw only ocean in every direction, save for a small island in the distance. That, he knew, was the Novice Island. While his knowledge was limited, he knew the basics. Every newcomer to the Black Turtle Realm received a designated Novice Island. It was a place to gather resources and begin developing their Black Turtle City. The resources on each island would vary. But the total value was roughly the same. This ensured everyone started on equal footing, the same. Went for the black turtles, they all had the same base stats, so everyone began on an even playing field. How the black turtle grew and evolved was up to the individual. Without hesitation, Lu Yun used telepathy to guide his black turtle towards the distant island. The black turtle paddled its limbs slowly, inching forward at a snail's pace. That was just how it was in the beginning. The black turtle's speed could be upgraded later. The speed would increase significantly. The black turtle paddled, slowly closing the distance to the island. Almost silently, Lu Yun figured it would take at least half an hour to get there, so he idly began exploring his functions. In his mind, he found a chat room and a trading market, one for chatting, the other for trading. Nothing to see here. Surprisingly, there was no stats screen for himself, just a task panel. It read, Main task, reach the resource island. The primary resource acquisition location for every Black Turtle City Lord. Task reward, Stone Axe X10, 0.0002 my resources 100 times critical hit. While watching the people chat in the chat room, Lu Yun waited for the black turtle under his feet to crawl slowly, getting closer and closer to the resource island. At this time, since everyone was waiting for the black turtle to land on the island, there was nothing to do. So many people were chatting in the chat room. Lu Yun just watched them chat and didn't interrupt. He found that just by watching the information revealed by their chats along the way, he could get a lot of knowledge points that he didn't know. It seems that when you are bored or have nothing to do, it's not bad to take time to come to the chat room to take a look. Gradually, the island is already in sight, less than 100 meters away. At this time, many people who act quickly have landed on the island, excitedly shouting in the chat room. I've landed on the island and started collecting wood to build a warehouse. I'm on the island, work. The progress must not be left behind by you. Lu Yun waited for dozens of seconds, and his black turtle also slowly crawled to the beach. By standing on the back of the black turtle and observing, the area of this island is not very large. There are many trees, boulders, sand, and other resources on it. Lu Yun immediately got off the island. When he slid down from the huge turtle's back, a loud prompt sounded in his mind. Congratulations, you have set foot on your first resource island. In the Black Turtle world, there are countless such resource islands, which are an important source of resources for you to mine. Of course, there will be huge continents in the Black Turtle world. But that is a very late thing, not a problem for you as a novice. You have completed the task of landing on the resource island and obtained Stone Axes X10. The new task has been released. Please go to the task interface to check. Section 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Yun watched as 10 stone axes materialized at his feet. They were real, tangible axes, though crudely made. This Black Turtle world might seem like a virtual reality, but it feels totally real, just like the outside world. Lu Yun thought. Sighing, he immediately checked his task panel for the new objective. Main task. Your black turtle is bare. Construct a basic storage warehouse as your first building. Task reward, Single Cabin Blueprint XL. Lu Yun opened the construction panel and found he could only build the basic storage warehouse. It required 50 pieces of wood and would take 1 minute to build. Lu Yun grabbed a stone axe and headed to the island to chop wood, a grueling task since he had to chop 50 pieces by hand. He ventured into the island's woods and soon spotted some fallen timber. A ready-made piece of wood. It wasn't huge, about the size of a bowl, and Lu Yun could carry it easily. Score. Gotta grab the easy stuff first. He thought, lugging the wood back to the beach. When he returned, he found his black turtle digging a hole, burying itself in the sand until it was level with the ground. Now, Lu Yun could walk directly onto the flat turtle's back without having to climb. Otherwise, hauling a log up that slope would have been a pain. He mused. Lu Yun was pleased with the black turtle's cleverness. I wonder if all black turtles are this smart. That he carried the wood onto the flat, roughly 30-meter wide turtle back and tossed it down. Suddenly, something magical happened that stunned him. The wood he threw down seemed to explode like popcorn, and piles of wood materialized out of thin air. His mind was flooded with notifications. You gained wood plus 2.1. 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 You gained wood, the notifications kept coming. Finally, Lu Yun checked his inventory. He had a total of 210 wood. He was floored. Asterisk, what the heck is going on? How did one piece of wood turn into so much? Is this happening to everyone else? Or is it just me? After thinking about it, he figured it was unlikely that everyone was experiencing the same thing. Asterisk, if they were, collecting resources would be too easy. Everyone says developing Black Turtle Island City is tough because getting resources is so hard. Realizing he might be the only one with this ability, Lu Yun suspected it was a cheat, like a game hack. Asterisk, every crossover in the Feilu army gets at least one cheat, so why shouldn't I? That it seemed he could multiply resources. That must be my special ability. Asterisk, developing my city should be a cakewalk now. Asterisk, he thought, excitedly. Asterisk, I knew it. As a chosen one, I couldn't just be average, right? Asterisk 0003 rapid development asterisk. Lu Yun carefully counted his wood. It was exactly 100 pieces, so, the single piece he'd carried had turned into 100, as for why his inventory showed 210, perhaps it was because the wood was large, counting as more than 2 standard pieces. Asterisk, if I carried a giant log, the panel wouldn't count it as just one piece, right? It must be based on size or volume to determine how much wood I get. Now, Lu Yun had 210 wood, which he knew put him way ahead of other newcomers. He opened the construction panel, selected the basic storage warehouse, and got ready to build. The construction screen showed the buildable area, the flat part of the turtle's back. Only the 30-meter wide flat area could be used for buildings. He selected a spot and placed the basic storage warehouse blueprint. The building started to construct automatically, and the wood supply at his feet visibly decreased. A minute later, the simple, small, all-wood warehouse was complete. Congratulations on building your first warehouse. You obtained the single cabin blueprint 11. Next up, build a single cabin to obtain the hard labor camp blueprint 11, Zio caddies of fish, XL steamed buns, and XL liters of water. Tip: materials must be stored in a warehouse to be used for construction. Materials left out in the open on the turtle's back can only be used to build warehouses. Lu Yun was annoyed by this tip. So, to build a single cabin, I have to move the wood into the warehouse. He decided it wasn't worth the effort. I could chop a new piece of wood in that time. So, he decided to just build more basic storage warehouses with the remaining 160 wood left in the open couldn't be used for other buildings, only warehouses. And with his 100x resource multiplier, one warehouse wouldn't hold much anyway. 4 warehouses isn't too many. Next, Lu Yun used the single cabin blueprint, the construction requirement, 100 pieces of wood. He grabbed his stone axe and headed back into the woods to cut trees. Before chopping, he scouted the area for ready-made wood. He searched for a while but found nothing. Guess I gotta do it the hard way. He thought. He picked a tree that wasn't too big and started hacking away. He quickly realized the stone axe was dull, making chopping difficult and tiring. After several swings, the trunk barely had a dent. Gotta take it slow and steady. He thought. He kept at it. It took Lu Yun about 10 minutes to finally fell the tree. Then, it took another 10 minutes to lop off all the branches. By this point, Lu Yun was sweating and panting. He needed to rest before he had the strength to carry the wood back. Just cutting down one piece of wood wiped me out. He thought. I wonder how exhausted everyone else is, having to chop 100 pieces. And how long will it take them? After resting, he regained his strength, hefted the small tree, and prepared to return. Section 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When he got back to the beach, he realized he couldn't just throw the wood on the turtle's back. It wouldn't do any good there. It needed to be stored in the warehouse to be effective, so, he carried the wood inside and carefully set it down. Then, something magical happened. Thunk, 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 he heard the sound of wood striking wood, and more sticks of wood started appearing out of nowhere. The warehouse began to fill up. This time, though, it wasn't just a random pile, it was neatly stacked. You got wood plus L7, you got wood plus 1, 7, you got wood plus 1.7, you got wood plus 1, 7, you got wood +1, 7, you got wood +1, 7, you got wood +1, 7, you got wood, a flurry of messages popped up, check warehouse wood quantity, wood x 170. Another 100-fold increase. Lu Yun was ecstatic. He was now completely convinced that he had access to resources multiplied by 100. It's really happening. 100 times the resources. This is awesome. I'm gonna dominate this black turtle world. Lu Yun felt a surge of excitement. Next, he pulled up the building panel and selected single cabin. He figured this would be his basic shelter for the early game. He decided to place the cabin right in the center of the turtle's back. Wood, 100. The cabin began constructing automatically, with a 10-minute completion time. 0004. Progress is far ahead. While he waited, Lu Yun decided to sit down and relax for a minute. He also opened the chat room to see how everyone else was doing. The chat room only showed messages from players within a 100 nautical mile radius. Right now, there were over 10,000 people in the chat room, meaning there were quite a few players nearby. Gotta start chopping wood. It's a real grind, but every newbie's gotta do it. I've chopped, like, IO wood units. What about you guys? I'm at 8. Holy cow, how are you chopping so fast? How long have you been on? I haven't stopped, and I've only got 4 wood so far. Same here, I'm stuck at 3. I'm so tired. Chopping trees with a stone axe is brutal. Yeah, it sucks. You gotta level up fast. Once you get the labor camp and a few workers, you'll be set. But workers need food. If you don't feed them, they won't work. We're talking production, but that's like 2 or 3 days away. Let's just figure out how to chop wood faster. I'm telling you, all you guys are slackers. I started practicing with a stone axe when I was a kid. I'm already a pro. I've got 15 wood. Whoa. 15 wood already? We got a real boss here. This guy's chopping way too fast. At this rate, he's gonna leave us in the dust just from chopping wood. Lu Yun chuckled as he read the chat. The whole room was complaining, everyone was struggling. Even the boss, with 15 wood, was considered amazing. Meanwhile, Lu Yun had already created 4 batches of warehouse materials that cost 50 wood each. He wasn't just slightly ahead, he was miles ahead. My progress is far ahead. Just then, the single cabin finished constructing. Congratulations. You've built a single cabin. You get a blueprint for a labor camp, 1,000 kilograms of fish, 100 kilograms of steamed buns, and 100 liters of water. Lu Yun was stunned. Even the system rewards were multiplied by 100. To confirm, he rushed to the warehouse. Sure enough, one of the warehouses was overflowing with piles of small fish, and huge bags of white steamed buns. And bottles of 1-liter mineral water. Lu Yun was thrilled. Now I'm set. No one can compete with me. Just then, another notification popped up. After all that hard work, you've finally built the single cabin. You must be exhausted. Here's some steamed buns and water to replenish your energy. But it's not just you who's tired. Your black turtle hasn't eaten in ages, so you need to give it food to survive. Those fish are perfect for it. Warning, if your turtle starves for too long, it will slow down and shrink. In extreme cases, it could even die. Just tell your turtle to eat in your mind, and it will start. If it eats enough, it will grow bigger and bigger. New tasks have been added. Check the task panel. Lu Yun was a little puzzled. Exhausted. I don't feel exhausted. The black turtle hasn't eaten in ages. Not for a long time. It had only been an hour, tops, since he entered the black turtle world. He quickly realized that the system was prompting him based on a standard progression. For most players, building a single cabin would take at least a day or 2. It fit the prompt's context, but he wasn't developing normally, which made the message a bit off. Lu Yun opened the task panel and saw 2 new tasks. Task 1. Main task, build a labor camp, the basic building needed to recruit workers. Reward, 30 caddies of pork. Tip, with a labor camp, you can recruit workers to help you. The more workers, the more production. Note, workers need food and water every day. If you can't provide the basics, they won't work. If they get too hungry, they might even rebel. Task 2. Side task, your black turtle is hungry. Feed it 10 gene of small fish. Reward, Basic Living Utensil Blueprint Package. After reviewing the tasks, Lu Yun decided to tackle the side quest first. 0005 Black Turtle Upgrades, body size increases that he mentally commanded the black turtle to start eating. The black turtle, which had been still, started devouring the small fish, gulping them down. It stretched its incredibly long neck back into the warehouse. Since Lu Yun hadn't set a limit, it kept eating. Your fish meat? 10 gene. Your fish meat J0 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 gene. Section 4. You are listening at novelfull.audio. From time to time, prompts would pop up. Lu Yun watched the fish disappear, but he didn't tell the black turtle to stop. He wanted to see if endless eating would trigger some kind of evolution, some growth spurt. Then it happened. You've fed the black turtle 500 kilograms of fish. It finally stopped, must be full. Oh whoa. The turtle let out a happy sigh and looked at Lu Yun with gratitude, nodding its head in approval. It seemed to be saying, following you is the best, I get to eat all I want. Lu Yun was pleased to see the black turtle so content. Just then, a new prompt appeared. Congratulations. You've obtained the Basic Living Utensils Blueprint Package. Congratulations. Your black turtle has consumed enough food to nourish its body, and it's beginning to grow. What followed was incredible. Right before his eyes, the black turtle started getting bigger. Lu Yun stared, stunned. This turtle was growing way too fast. In just a few minutes, the already huge black turtle had expanded significantly. Another prompt. Your black turtle has grown. Its shell is now approximately 60 meters long and 50 meters wide. Usable building area has expanded to roughly 40 meters x 30 meters. Movement speed has increased by 1 knot to 11 knots. The black turtle's data panel is now available. Lu Yun immediately pulled up the turtle's stats. Species, common black turtle. Size, 60 meters x 50 meters. Speed, 11 knots. Satiation, 0%, growth occurs when satiation is full. Hunger, 0%, increased hunger reduces speed and causes negative effects. Must eat to reduce hunger. Looking at the data, Lu Yun realized the turtle could eat forever. As long as there was food, it would eat it. Eventually, its satiation would hit 100%, and then it would grow again. Realizing this, Lu Yun immediately ordered the turtle to eat again, this time feeding it 400 kilograms of small fish. The black turtle, oblivious to the concept of full, started chowing down. Your fish supply, 0 kilograms. 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 The prompts kept coming until all 400 kilograms were gone. Now, Lu Yun had only 100 kilograms of fish left. This wasn't enough to feed the turtle for growth. Instead, he'd save it for when it got hungry. Looking at the turtle's satiation level, it was only at 40%, looks like it needed a full 1,000 kilograms to grow again. After assessing the black turtle situation, Lu Yun decided to use the Basic Living Utensils Blueprint Package he'd just gotten. You've used the Basic Living Utensils Blueprint Package. You now know how to make stone axes, stone pickaxes, stone hammers, wooden tables, wooden stools, wooden cups, wooden bowls, wooden buckets, etc. Lu Yun quickly opened the construction panel and saw a new manufacturing section. Inside were recipes for stone axes, wooden tables, and other tools, along with the required materials. Lu Yun nodded in satisfaction. Not bad. Being able to make these basics would make life much easier. Then, he focused on the main quest again. Building the hard labor camp required a whopping 300 units of wood, and stone, a new material, was needed for the first time. The requirements were wood x 300 and stone x 100, that was a lot. Even with his 100x resource boost, Lu Yun didn't have that much. No wonder people in the chat room said it took 2 or 3 days to recruit laborers. For them, that was probably a fast pace, but he wouldn't take that long. Without hesitation, he grabbed his stone axe to chop down trees. For stone, he'd need a stone pickaxe, but he didn't need that right now. Lu Yun noticed several medium-sized stones scattered around the island. He could probably carry them to the warehouse hole, so he started chopping wood with his primitive stone axe. Once he had enough, he began hauling stones. Soon, he had enough of those, too. Lu Yun decisively placed the hard labor camp blueprint, which would take an hour to build. Hard labor camp, construction time, 1 hour. While it built, Lu Yun had nothing to do but keep gathering wood and stone. He might as well be productive. Once the camp was done, there would definitely be more construction, and that meant even more resources. You could never have too many. Lu Yun kept working, and the intense labor reminded him how hard this game could be. An hour later, the hard labor camp was finally complete. His warehouse now contained wood X450 and stone X220. After subtracting the 100 he used, he'd only gotten 150 wood and 120 stone in that hour, and that hour had completely wiped him out. It was no wonder other players struggled. Lu Yun silently thanked his lucky stars for the 100x resource cheat. Congratulations. Your level 1 hard labor camp is complete. You can now recruit hard laborers. Recruitment cost, 30 kilograms of food. You have received pork x 3000 kilograms. Building upgrade function unlocked. New quest, after hard work, you can finally recruit hard laborers to share the load. However, those laborers need to eat. We're guessing you're already running low on food, and maybe even hungry yourself, so it's time to find more. Find a way to obtain 10 kilograms of food on the island. Reward, Technical Worker Hut Blueprint X1. Lu Yun frowned at the new quest. What the heck? Running low on food? Didn't he just get 3000 kilograms of pork? Wasn't that enough for him and the laborers? Normally, the reward was only 30 kilograms of pork. Recruiting a laborer would leave nothing, so other players had a tough choice: use the pork for themselves or recruit someone to help. But Lu Yun had no such dilemma. He had tons of pork. He'd just keep recruiting laborers. The more workers, the better. With that thought, Lu Yun hurried to the labor camp. It was a solid building. It was built with lots of lumber and stone. Upon entering, an information panel popped up. Building, labor camp. Level, LVL1. Section 5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Function, recruit level 1 peons. Requirements, 30 pounds of food, 1 single cabin. Building upgrade, 500 wood, 200 stone. Upgrade time, 3 hours. Upgrade effect, recruit level 2 peons, greatly increase labor capacity. Building description, peons from this building are born to work. Feed them, and they'll work without complaint. Upgraded peons are even more capable. So, the cabin isn't for me, it's for the peons. Lu Yun muttered. He also noticed that the system measured all food in pounds: pounds of steamed buns, pounds of fish, pounds of rice, pounds of pork, pounds of cabbage. Everything was just pounds of food to the system. All food was equal. Of course, players would value different foods differently at a trading post. Nobody would trade a pound of beef for a pound of steamed buns. Since the system measured food by weight, those 100 pounds of buns he had could be used to summon laborers. Without hesitation, he built 4 cabins, 400 wood. Then, he recruited 5 laborers, spending 100 pounds of buns and 50 pounds of pork. The labor camp began to glow, and the whole building seemed to shift. After about a minute, a green-skinned orc, like the orc laborers from Warcraft, emerged. Lu Yun was surprised by the laborer's appearance. This was a real orc laborer. A little ugly, maybe, but strong muscles all over his body made him look powerful. A muscular guy who worked hard and never complained would be way more efficient than a weakling like him. Master, what do you need? Fresh from the labor camp, the laborer stood blankly, looking at Lu Yun. His expression was dull, like he wasn't too bright. Lu Yun got it. These laborers were like NPCs, lacking independent thought and following orders. They acted mechanically, which was perfect. He didn't want laborers who were too smart or had their own personalities. Wait here for now, Lu Yun ordered. The laborer acknowledged the order. Okay, master, as you command. Then, he stood there blankly, expressionless, like he was in a daze. A real emotionless working machine, awesome. Lu Yun thought. He was satisfied with the laborer's setup. Another minute passed, and another laborer appeared. His height, appearance, and muscle mass were similar to the first. Maybe there was a difference in appearance, but Lu Yun couldn't tell. Then came a similar exchange. The laborer greeted him, and Lu Yun told him to wait. This went on for 5 minutes. All 5 laborers were finally produced and stood in a neat row. Lu Yun gave them their orders. Okay, start working. 2 of you cut down trees, 1 carries wood, and the other 2 collect stones. Okay, master, as you command. The 5 laborers answered in unison, their voices deep and steady. Then, they grabbed their tools, headed to the work site, and got started. Lu Yun watched the 5 strong orcs go and nodded. With them, resource gathering would be way faster. Would the materials they collected also get a 100-fold bonus? They should, if only the resources he collected got the bonus. This golden ticket was a dud. Any increase in warehouse supplies would trigger a notification for Lu Yun, the city lord. He didn't need to wait for the laborers to bring back supplies to see if they had a 100-fold bonus. Lu Yun decided to continue the main quest. Pushing forward was definitely the right move. He got off the black turtle's back and went to the island to find food. The current task was to find 10 kilograms of food. This was harder than the others. Before, the trees were there, ready to be cut down by working hard. Now, finding food. He had no idea where to start, so he had to look around and hope for the best. He'd heard people mention in the chat room that there were many kinds of food in this world, and many ways to get it: fish in the sea, land creatures on the island, wild vegetables, mushrooms, all food. Since wild vegetables count, I'll search the island for wild cabbage or something. He went deep into the island and began to search carefully. He searched several times but found no plants that looked like wild vegetables. This newbie island is too small. I've searched it a bunch of times and found nothing. Guess there aren't any wild vegetables. Lu Yun thought about fishing or picking clams on the rocks. Just when he was about to give up, he spotted a small patch of tender green leaves in a small patch of grass on the edge of the forest. Potatoes? Holy crap! Did I actually find potatoes? Is it real? Lu Yun was excited but not sure. He wasn't a plant expert, so he got down and started digging. A series of beeps came. You get wood plus 4.5, and you get wood plus 4.5, and you get wood plus 4.5, and you get wood plus 4.5, you get wood plus 4.5, you get wood. Lu Yun was sure. Anything placed in his warehouse would have a 100 times bonus. Whether he moved it or someone else did, it worked. These guys are strong. Carrying a piece of wood into the warehouse counts as 4.5 units. That means the wood is thick, and they're strong. Lu Yun had used all his strength to carry a piece of wood weighing 2.1 units. Any heavier, and he couldn't have done it, but the laborers were carrying wood weighing 4.5 units. He continued to dig down along the rhizome and found potatoes in the soil. It's really potatoes. Lu Yun was overjoyed. Potatoes were easy to grow and had a high yield. If he could grow potatoes in the future, he'd be set. He dug more and more potatoes. Section 6. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After gathering all the potatoes from a small field, Lu Yun figured he had at least 20 pounds. Hauling them back to the warehouse would instantly give him over 2,000 pounds. Plenty for eating and future planting. Lu Yun took off his shirt, packed up the potatoes, and got ready to move them back to the warehouse. The 5 workers were already going at it, hauling stones and wood to build it up. The warehouse was filling up fast. With so much food coming in, the 4 warehouses were bursting at the seams, so Lu Yun quickly built 6 more basic storage units. Now he had 10 warehouses, arranged in 2 rows. That brought the total to 16 structures on the turtles. Back, 10 warehouses, 5 cabins, and the work camp. With all these buildings, he'd used up a big chunk of his 40 by 30 meter buildable space. Man, he thought, I'm developing too fast. The buildable area on this turtle's back was prime real estate, and every inch had to be planned carefully. Once the 6 new warehouses were up, Lu Yun dumped all the potatoes inside. Immediately, A flood of notifications popped up. You got potatoes x 0.3 lbs. You got potatoes x 0.5 lbs. You got potatoes x 0.2 lbs. You got potatoes x 0.7 lbs. You got potatoes x 0.4 lbs. You got potatoes. After thousands of messages scrolled by, Lu Yun finally saw the total, 2,860 pounds. Congrats, you've learned how to find food on the island. You got the blueprint for the Technical Workers Hut 11. New task. Check the task panel. Lu Yun gazed at the mountain of potatoes, feeling a surge of satisfaction. He'd collected all that himself. Felt like a farmer bringing in the harvest, that he had nearly 10,000 pounds of food stored away. For now, he was set, especially on pork, which made up about 6,000 pounds of the total, but pork didn't last forever. He needed to use it up quick, or it would spoil. Guess the turtle's eating good tonight. It needed to grow anyway, giving him more building space. The faster he developed, the more cabins he could build, the more workers he could recruit. Of course, the bigger the building space, the better, but the food consumption was getting scary. Hope there are more food sources out there. Planting his own crops was the most obvious option. Potatoes were super productive. Wonder if they'll grow on this turtle's back. That if he could plant something, potatoes were definitely the top pick, but the turtle's back was bare. No water, no soil, how would he solve that? I'll ask in the chat later. Lu Yun focused and mentally ordered the turtle to eat. The turtle was happy to comply. It stretched its long neck and started chowing down on the pork. Your pork, 20 pounds. Your pork, 20 pounds. Your pork, 20 pounds. Your pork, 20 pounds. Your pork. The notifications flew by as the turtle gobbled up the pork. That thing could really put it away. Every bite was 20 pounds of food gone. Once it had swallowed 1,200 pounds, the turtle paused. Its hunger was maxed out at 100%. Congrats, your black turtle has had its fill and its growth rate has reached 100%. Its body has started to grow. Lu Yun watched in amazement. The massive turtle beneath his feet was visibly growing larger, its broad back expanded right before his eyes. After a few minutes, the growth stopped. Your black turtle has grown. Its back is now about 230 feet long and 165 feet wide. The buildable area has increased to 165 feet x 100 feet, and its speed has increased by 1 knot, reaching 12 knots. The black turtle stats are now available. Lu Yun immediately checked the turtle stat panel. Black turtle species, common black turtle. Shell size, 230 foot x 165 feet. Speed, 12 knots. Buildable area, 165 foot x 100 feet. Hunger, 0%. Food intake, 0%. The buildable area was 13,000 square feet, and now it's 16,500 square feet. That's an extra 3,500 square feet. Not bad at all. Lu Yun thought, pleased with the turtle's growth. There was still a lot of pork left, so he told the turtle to keep eating. Your pork, 20 pounds. Your pork, 20 pounds. Your pork, 20 pounds. Your pork, 20 pounds. Your pork. After another 400 pounds of pork, the turtle's hunger hit 10%. Lu Yun realized, the pork needed for the next upgrade is going to be 4,000 pounds. The bigger the turtle got, the more food it needed. Lu Yun continued to feed the turtle, knowing he still had some pork left. When the turtle's hunger was maxed out again, it had consumed a total of 5,200 pounds of pork, that left him with only about 700 pounds of pork. Meat was already scarce, so he decided to lay off the pork for now. Congrats, your black turtle has had its fill and its growth rate has reached 100%. Its body has started to grow. The turtle entered another growth spurt, expanding visibly. Section 7. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If anyone else wandered by Lu Yun's black turtle right now, they'd be floored. Holy cow, it's already this huge. Lu Yun's turtle was way bigger than any other newbie's, but even this wasn't enough for Lu Yun. An aircraft carrier is 1,000 feet long and over 200 feet wide. My black turtle's nowhere near that. And building a floating city? Forget about it. Lu Yun had a long, long way to go before he could become the king of his own water city. Your black turtle has grown. Its shell is now about 230 feet long and 200 feet wide. Building area expanded to approximately 160 feet x 130 feet. Movement speed increased by 1 knot to 13 knots. Black turtle data panel available. Lu Yun immediately checked the black turtle stats after its third growth spurt. Black turtle species, common black turtle, dot, shell size, 230 feet x 200 feet, dot, speed, 13 knots/hour, dot, building area, 160 feet x 130 feet, dot, heating level, 0%, dot, hunger level, 0%. Nice. Another 30 feet added to the width. The usable building space on the shell has gone from 16,000 square feet to 21,000 square feet. That's another 5,000 square feet of usable space. Seeing the black turtle getting bigger and bigger, the usable area was expanding all the time. More workers could be hired and more people could be supported. Food consumption would become a bigger issue, and right now, it seemed unlimited. If you wanted the black turtle to keep growing, it could eat anything. Finding ways to get more food was now the top priority. Because with the 100-fold bonus, he had tons of basic materials, so there wouldn't be any shortage, and if there was, he could just hire more workers. But unless lives were on the line, the workers wouldn't think about finding food. That was a problem. Gathering basic materials could be a group effort, but feeding all the workers and the black turtle was all on Lu Yun. Imagine the pressure of keeping that many mouths fed. Luckily, every 2 pounds of food he found turned into 200. Food wasn't too scarce right now. Any other new player would have a tough time supporting that many workers so early on. Just hiring and feeding 3 workers was considered a huge win for most. Some newcomers couldn't even feed themselves, let alone the black turtle. Lu Yun's advantage was enormous. From now on, I need to think long-term about food. A stable food source is ideal. Lu Yun started planning ahead. There was plenty of food for now, but waiting until it was gone before finding a stable source was a bad move. When dozens, or even hundreds, of workers were waiting to be fed, things would fall apart. Lu Yun opened the chat room to see if farming was a possibility. If it was, he'd save some potatoes for planting later. Lu Yun pretended to be a clueless newbie in the chat room and asked, "Hey guys, quick question. I found 30 pounds of potatoes on my newbie island. Potatoes grow like crazy. Could I plant these on the black turtle's back?" Of course. Lu Yun was a newbie who didn't know much. His progress was ahead of everyone else, but he still had a lot to learn. When everyone in the chat room saw Lu Yun's question, they immediately started chatting about it. Wow, talk about lucky. 30 pounds of potatoes right off the bat. You're set for the next week. In the black turtle realm, you can definitely farm later on. Potatoes are great too. Easy to grow, high yield. Save some for later. It's too early to start farming as a newbie. You need the farming blueprint and a super rare resource called dirt to plant anything. Yeah, you need dirt to plant anything on the turtle's back. Black soil is hard to come by, so most people can't start farming. The big guys usually have farms on their turtles. They've got plenty of food and can support tons of workers. Lu Yun got the message. You needed dirt to plant. Gotta keep an eye out for black soil. Then someone noticed something else and asked, "Wait, did you dig up the potatoes and put them on the black turtle's back?" Lu Yun was taken aback. Yeah. What's wrong with that? That he wouldn't admit that he put them in the warehouse. A lot of people hadn't even built a warehouse yet. Getting 50 pieces of wood for the first warehouse was considered fast progress. Man. You're screwed. There's a main quest later to find 20 pounds of food. Food you already put on the turtle's back doesn't count. You just made the quest a lot harder. Everyone starting island has limited resources. You've already got potatoes. Finding another 20 pounds of food is gonna be tough. Lu Yun breathed a sigh of relief. He thought something bad had happened. Turns out, he just hadn't gotten to that quest yet, but it made sense. No one else could have completed it this early. He was probably the only one in the world. Then someone started teasing him. Guess you didn't do your homework. Bet you'll waste a ton of time on that food quest. This guy's clueless. If you read up on the quests beforehand, you wouldn't make rookie mistakes like that, see? It pays to know everything about Black Turtle Island ahead of time. You can skip these kinds of setbacks. You should have saved the potatoes and turned them in for the quest and skipped the mission. Seeing the taunts, Lu Yun just laughed to himself. Haha. You guys'll see. After getting the information he needed, Lu Yun left the chat room. He opened the task panel to check his latest quests. Main quest, build a technician's hut and recruit a technician. Reward, Tool Shed Blueprint X1, Militia Camp Blueprint X1, Double Wooden House Blueprint X1. Lu Yun unlocked the technician's hut blueprint, then, he checked the building requirements. Requires, wood X300, stone X200, time, 1 hour. Lu Yun had all the materials. The workers were super efficient, especially with the 100-fold bonus. They had been working for an hour, and the warehouse had over 5,000 pieces of wood and 2,000 pieces of stone. Section 8. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Yun had so much resource-gathering power, he could splash it around without a second thought. He picked a spot and plopped down the technician's hut. It would be an hour before he could upgrade it. Lu Yun wasn't about to just sit on his hands. He took a look at upgrading his other buildings. Now that the upgrade function was unlocked, everything was fair game. He started with the basic storage warehouses. At his current resource-gathering rate, even 10 warehouses would fill up fast. They weren't that big to begin with, maybe 10 feet long and wide, and 6 feet high. He needed to boost the total warehouse capacity ASAP. 0011 Building Upgrade. 0011 Building Upgrade. Lu Yun walked over to a warehouse and checked the stats. Building, Basic Storage Warehouse. Level, LVL. Function, Basic Storage for all kinds of materials. Volume, 10 foot x 10 foot x 6 feet. Upgrade, 100 wood. Time, 10 minutes. Effect, 13 foot x 13 foot x 10 feet. Okay, warehouse upgrades aren't too pricey. I can do all of them. Lu Yun thought, then queued up all 10 basic warehouses for upgrades. 1000 wood. The foundations of each warehouse expanded immediately as they went into upgrade mode. Lu Yun could see that upgrading simply increased the warehouse's size, which naturally boosted its storage capacity. Each warehouse was a physical space, not a digital one. It was about how much you could cram in. For instance, you could probably fit thousands of pounds of meat in a warehouse. There'd still be room to spare. But if you were storing cotton, a couple thousand pounds might fill it up completely. So, the warehouse didn't have a fixed amount of storage for specific materials. Instead, the system calculated what you put in and how much space it took up. That meant organizing materials was super important. If you used the space wisely, you could store way more. If you just tossed stuff in willy-nilly, the utilization would tank, and a warehouse wouldn't hold much. Lu Yun also noticed that he could move any building on the turtle's back. That was a major convenience, especially later on. If he needed to adjust a building's location, he could just do it. 10 minutes flew by, and all 10 warehouses were upgraded, noticeably bigger. He checked the warehouse's current stats. Building, Basic Storage Warehouse. Level, LV2. Function, Basic Storage for all kinds of materials. Volume, 13 foot x 13 foot x 10 feet. Upgrade, 200 wood. Time, 30 minutes. Effect, 16 foot x 16 foot x 10 feet. Not bad, the upgrade gives a decent capacity boost. Way better than those tiny 10-foot boxes, Lu Yun muttered, figuring it was worth it to keep upgrading the warehouses. After all, having a bunch of small, level 1 warehouses would be a pain when retrieving resources later. Bigger warehouses were the way to go, so, he queued up all 10 warehouses for another upgrade. This time it would take 30 minutes. Lu Yun didn't feel like hanging around that long, so, he moved on to upgrading other buildings. He headed to the hard labor camp and checked the stats. Building, Hard Labor Camp. Level, LVL. Function, Recruits level 1 laborers. Requirement, 65 pounds of food, 1 single cabin. Building upgrade, Wood X500, Stone X200. Upgrade time, 3 hours. Upgrade effect, recruits level 2 laborers, greatly increased work capacity. Honestly, the resource cost to upgrade the labor camp was pretty steep. Most people would need to grind for days, even with laborers, to save up enough, but for Lu Yun, it was no sweat. He clicked to upgrade, a prompt popped up. Note, you are upgrading the labor camp. Recruiting level 2 laborers requires level 2 housing. Laborers must have housing that matches their level. After the upgrade, you can upgrade your low-level laborers, just pay the recruitment difference. However, upgraded laborers still need level-appropriate housing, or they'll be unhappy, unproductive, and hurt efficiency. Lu Yun read the message and nodded. That made sense. Workers should get what they deserve. No one would be thrilled to work harder for the same old pay. Lu Yun confirmed the upgrade. 3 hours, huh? Couldn't rush that. Next, he upgraded the single cabins, building, single cabin, level, LVL, function, houses 1 level 1 resident. Building upgrade, would X100, upgrade time, 20 minutes, upgrade effect, houses 1 level 2 resident. After looking at the stats, Lu Yun saw the upgrade cost wasn't bad, so he upgraded all 5 single cabins without hesitation, so now all 16 buildings on Black Turtle Island were under construction, quite a sight to behold. During this newbie phase, everyone else was scrambling for resources, struggling to upgrade anything. Only Lu Yun could pull off a large-scale upgrade like this. 0012 I don't know how to make fire by drilling wood. He checked how much longer the technician's hut upgrade would take. Still over half an hour. Lu Yun was starting to get antsy. Grumble, grumble, his stomach complained. He glanced at the sun, already sinking in the west, almost dusk, roughly. He estimated it had been about 4 hours since he entered the Black Turtle realm. Time to start thinking about dinner. He wasn't the only one getting hungry. The 5 laborers needed to eat too. Since he had some time to kill, he might as well get dinner ready. He inventoried his food supply: 220 pounds of fish, 770 pounds of pork, 3,150 pounds of potatoes, and 26 gallons of water. Plenty of supplies, but it was all raw. They couldn't eat it like that, could they? Lu Yun figured if he tried feeding raw meat to his laborers, they'd probably just grab it and start gnawing. Section 9. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After all, they're orcs, total barbarians, but I'm not about to eat raw meat. No way, I gotta figure out how to make a fire. At least roast the fish and pork. Roasted potatoes would be awesome too. Back home, I had oil, salt, sauces, vinegar, all kinds of ingredients, pots, pans. I could whip up boiled fish, stir-fried pork, shredded potatoes, no problem, but cooking food is the absolute bare minimum here. So, how to get a fire going? That's the next thing I gotta solve ASAP. Drilling wood came to mind, the caveman method, but who actually knows how to do that? Even pros can spend hours and still end up with nothing. Back on Earth, I used to watch Bear Grylls on Man vs. Wild. Even he struggled with the wood drill sometimes. After hours of frustration, he'd often just break out a flint. For a complete newbie like me, that method's gonna be tough. Then it hit me. In the chat room before, someone was shouting about trading resources for fire, saying everyone should jump on it. Wait, could I just buy fire? If so, why even bother with the whole wood drilling thing? Total waste of time and energy, and no guarantee it'd even work. I immediately opened up the trading market to check. First time using this interface, so it was all new to me. Tons of listings already, mostly resource swaps, wood for water, that kind of thing. No fancy high-level resources yet. Guess those are hard to come by this early on. Besides the listings, there was also a chat box below the trading market, but this was different from the regular chat room's aimless blather. This was all business, pure haggling. Back when I was on Earth, I practiced fishing in the sea. I didn't expect that this skill would come in handy. I just caught 10 big abalone. Anyone want them? 3 wood for 1 abalone. 3 wood for 1 abalone. You're dreaming. 10 abalone for 30 wood. Highway robbery. Selling fire, selling fire. You upstairs wanna eat abalone, how you gonna do that without fire? By my fire, roast that big, delicious abalone. How much for the fire? I caught a couple of small fish and wanna grill them up. My fire's a steel, 1 wood, guaranteed to light. If it doesn't, I'll give you another one free. You're even worse than the abalone guy. 1 wood for a tiny flame. No way. Yeah, just a little burning stick, for a whole piece of wood. Plus, once you get it lit, fire's endless. It costs practically nothing. Why are you charging so much? You think fire's easy? I spent 2 hours drilling wood to get this thing going. My hands are covered in blisters. Don't buy from this rip-off artist. I just bought some fire from him. Way too expensive. I'm selling it back at cost, no matter what. Only 0.5 wood for 1 fire, half his price. Seriously, guys? Is that how you do business? I sell you fire, and then you steal my customers. That I was cracking up at everyone's chat in the trading market. These guys were pulling out all the stops to squeeze every last drop of profit. Take the fire seller, for instance. He must have stockpiled a ton of wood early on. With night coming, everyone's gonna need a bonfire to sleep soundly, so he can sell fire by the bucket load, but that won't last. Word spreads fast. Pretty soon, everyone will have fire, and everyone can get wood. All they need is that initial flame. Once everyone's got fire, it'll be worthless. 0013. I was hoping to coast, but no such luck. I coughed up 0.5 wood and bought some fire from the discount guy. I was also curious to see if the trade items could get a 100-fold critical hit. Nope, materials just went straight to my inventory. It was just a tiny burning branch, not 100 of them. I quickly found some dry leaves and weeds to get the flame bigger, then I added a big piece of wood. Once the big wood caught, the fire was going strong. Now, to keep this bonfire burning, I needed someone to chop wood and make sure there was always fuel ready. I had a ton of wood in my warehouse, so grabbing some to chop into firewood was no big deal. With the bonfire blazing, I started prepping my barbecue dinner. Conditions were rough. No pots, pans, oil, or salt, just simple roasted pork, fish, and potatoes, straight up. Before getting started, I tried the trading market thing again. I bought fire last time, which didn't get a critical hit, but maybe fire wasn't a basic material, in the true sense. Maybe that's why it didn't get the bonus. After all, the system didn't kick in any bonuses when it sent the stone axe before, and it didn't kick in any bonuses when it sent me a blueprint. Only when food was sent, and when I put raw materials in the warehouse did I get a 100-fold critical hit. With this in mind, I deliberately traded wood for stone, and then traded stone for wood, but no critical hit. The amounts matched, no extra at all. Now I was sure, materials from the trading market. Can't get the bonus. A little bummed, not gonna lie. If trading could trigger the critical hit, things would be awesome. I wouldn't have to work at all, just sit in the trading market, buy resources, and never lose money. The more I bought, the more I earned. Soon, I'd have everything I could dream of. I could build a sprawling seaside city in a few days, right? I was hoping to coast here, but no such luck, so, guess I gotta keep working hard. I found a couple of thick wooden sticks, skewered the barbecue and fish on them, and started grilling. Barbecuing takes time, you can't rush it, just slow grilling, and half an hour flew by. Congratulations. The technical workers hut is complete. You can now recruit professional technicians with various skills. The technician's hut can also be upgraded. Upgraded technicians are more professional. I tossed the skewers on a makeshift wooden rack and jogged over to check it out. Building, technician's hut, level, LVL1, function, recruit technicians from various industries. Requirements, 30 kilograms of food, 1 single cabin. Building upgrade, wood X 500, stone X 300, upgrade effect, you can recruit level 2 technicians with more sophisticated skills. Unlock cooking technicians. Currently available for recruitment, handicraft technicians. I checked out the handicraft technician info. Lots of text there. Handicraft technicians possess various crafting skills. The higher the level, the more they know. More refined workmanship and higher quality handcraft tools. They can twist flax into hemp rope, weave thatch into straw rope. Then, use the straw rope to make straw shoes. Or cut bamboo into bamboo strips and weave bamboo products such as baskets. If there are animal skins, they can make various animal skin handicrafts. For example, animal skin water bags, animal skin coats, animal skin armor, animal skin hats, etc. Of course, they can also make the most basic stone tools, such as stone axes, stone pickaxes, stone hammers, etc. More advanced technicians can also make swing hammers, stone spears, bows and arrows, and other basic weapons. Section 10. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, that's the ticket. Lu Yun thought when he saw the description, these guys seem way more useful than the peons, and they cost the same to recruit. Right now, the only ones you can get at the mechanics hut are the manual mechanics. Without a second thought, he recruited one immediately. Of course, he made sure to build a few extra single cabins first. He was running out of space. The island's population is only gonna grow from here, so you can never have too much housing. He'll unlock the double rooms soon, but not yet. After about a minute, a guy in plain clothes walked out of the mechanic's cabin. Spotting Lu Yun, he dropped to his knees. He bowed deeply. Greetings, my lord. Lu Yun was relieved to see it was a human. Another orc in the place would be overrun. This craftsman being human was a welcome sight. Plus, his whole demeanor was different from the peons he'd had before. Lu Yun was quick to respond. Get up. Yes, my lord. The guy replied, popping right back up. Then he bowed again. My lord, I'm skilled in all sorts of crafts. What would you like me to do? 0014 Complete all tasks on the novice island. Lu Yun thought about it. All that tree chopping and rock smashing the workers were doing was eating up tools like crazy, especially those basic stone axes, picks, and hammers. The stone axe the system gave him was almost gone. He desperately needed a constant supply of tools, and if he planned on hiring more workers, he'd need even more. He ordered, start making stone axes, picks, and hammers right away. The workers need them for their jobs. Yes, my lord. The guy replied immediately, heading toward the warehouse. He needed wood and stone to make the tools, so he had to get those materials first. You successfully recruited a manual mechanic. If he has a dedicated workshop, his efficiency will skyrocket. You received, Tool Shed Blueprint XL, Militia Camp Blueprint XL, Double Wooden House Blueprint XL. New quest, Build a Militia Camp. Quest rewards, Basic Bathhouse Blueprint XL, Basic Outhouse Blueprint XL, Basic Stove Blueprint XL, Basic Woodshed Blueprint XL, Kiln Blueprint XL, City Hall Blueprint 11. Wow, that's a lot of buildings to unlock for one quest. Lu Yun was surprised. He checked out the militia camp blueprint to see how much it would cost to build. 500 wood, 500 stone. That a little pricey, but Lu Yun could handle it. He found a spot and placed the militia camp. Then something totally unexpected happened. The militia camp was built instantly. The foundation appeared and, like a transformer, assembled into a full-blown militia camp. Congratulations. You've completed all the tasks on this novice island. There's nothing left for you here. You must leave this island and venture out into the ocean to progress. You obtained the basic bathhouse blueprint. New quests available. Check the quest log. Lu Yun was taken aback. He didn't expect to finish all the main quests on the starter island so fast, less than 5 hours. He'd heard stories of new players struggling for around 15 days before finally leaving the island. Even the best players needed at least 10 days, and he did it in less than half a day. That was insane. He probably broke some kind of record, and he wasn't even trying to rush. If he knew the ropes and really pushed it, he could have been even faster. Now that all the main tasks were done, the system was saying this island wouldn't help him anymore. Should he just pack up and find a new resource island? No way. Lu Yun wasn't leaving just yet. He hadn't fully tapped the resources on this island. Even though there weren't a ton of basic supplies here, times 100, it was still pretty good. He'd leave once his foundation was solid. He'd upgrade every building he could, keep upgrading until they couldn't be upgraded anymore. Then, and only then, would he leave the island. Lu Yun decided to check the quest log first and see what he was up against. Main quest, build the city hall. This is your personal space and a symbol of your authority as city lord. Quest reward, Smeltery Blueprint 11. Quest hint, to build the city hall, you need a new building material, clay. To make clay, you need a kiln and raw clay. This new resource, clay, isn't available on the Novice Island. To build your city hall, you must leave the Novice Island and explore the vast ocean for a new resource island, a truly unclaimed island. Warning, an unclaimed island isn't yours alone. You may have direct competition with other players for resources. To improve your chances of survival, it's recommended that you produce militia ASAP. They're professional combat units with serious firepower. 0015 The first meal in the Black Turtle Realm. Reading the new quest, Lu Yun understood why he had to leave the Novice Island. It didn't have the resources he needed to keep going. If he wanted to develop further, he'd have to explore other islands to get the resources he needed. He decided to use the 6 new building blueprints first, even though this last quest gave a bunch of new buildings. The first 4 were pretty self-explanatory: basic bathhouse, basic outhouse, basic kitchen, basic woodshed for taking baths, going to the bathroom, cooking, chopping wood, and storing firewood. Only the last 2 buildings were worth checking out, the kiln and the city hall. Lu Yun checked the kiln's info first. Building, kiln, building resources, 500 wood, 500 stone, 500 thatch, 500 clay, building time, 5 hours, building output. The kiln can be used to fire various pottery, such as roof tiles, jars, etc. Building consumption, clay, building energy consumption, firewood, charcoal, coal, etc. Production speed, varies by product. Then he looked at the city hall. Building, city hall, building resources, 2000 wood, 2000 stone, 2000 clay. Building time, 1 day, building function, a dedicated space for the city lord, with amenities and a comfortable living environment. It can relieve stress and improve morale. Clearly, he couldn't build either of these yet. He had no clay. Since he couldn't build them, there was no rush. He'd upgrade the existing buildings first.